Hello, my name is Courtney Wagner, and I was diagnosed with OCD. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, OCD is the uncontrollable thoughts and compulsions that you feel the urge to repeat over and over again. So many people talk about being obsessed or having obsessions so much that it's become a part of everyday language. But the truth is, people that really suffer from OCD, it becomes so extreme that they can't function in their everyday life. For me, the OCD was so bad that I had to keep coming into my parents' room every night. I was losing sleep, but I needed to come into their room and ask for reassurance. Not only was I losing sleep, but my parents were losing the sleep too. For me, I had to be put on medication when I was in 5th grade because the thoughts would not stop roaming in my head. For me, I had a fear of vomiting. It may sound silly, but it would not get out of my head and I couldn't focus. There's a lot of types of obsessions that people with OCD could have. For example, you could have fear of contamination, fear of losing something, worries about harming self or others, losing control, unwanted intrusive thoughts, and having things in perfect order. But there are many other thoughts you could have too. There are many different kinds of compulsions. Some examples of those are excessive cleaning, keeping unnecessary objects which might result in hoarding, ordering objects in a specific way, or repeatedly checking something over and over again. But with that being said, there is good news. You can get treated for OCD. Anyone who wants to can easily find treatment for any mental illness by going onto bergenresourcenet.org. There you can type in any topic and you will find places in Bergen County where you can go to get help. For example, you type anxiety into the search engine and you can find many places to go for help. I chose to tell you more about one of these places, West Bergen Mental Health Center. I went to Mawa's site to meet with the psychologist, Dr. Sudal, to find out more. West Bergen has 3 locations. Teens who have OCD can be treated by a psychiatrist for medication and by a social worker or a psychologist for therapy.
Is there a general age that people have OCD, or is it all?
OCD affects every age, every ethnicity, male and female. Females tend to have it a little bit more, but usually it's kind of equal. You have young children who have OCD, you have older people who have OCD. And it's pretty prevalent, OCD, which means you see it a lot. And a lot of times it goes unrecognized. And you can have a very mild case of OCD and a very severe case of OCD. And the interesting thing about OCD is sometimes it gets better and then all of a sudden it gets worse. And we don't know why it gets worse.
Yeah.
And then it gets better and then it gets worse and then it gets better. Because it tries to trick you.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that we do with children is we try to get children to name the OCD something that they don't like. Because we don't want you to like the OCD. We want you to consider OCD as a little monster trying to control you. We want you to gain control over your OCD. So we get you to name OCD something that you don't like. So if you had to name your OCD, what would you name it? Kind of
As you can
therapy
tell,
with you?
I learned a lot from Dr. Sudal.
No, I kind of talked to her about like what's been going on in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and then she like says what to do.
What does she tell you to do?
Like she tells me to like to distract myself with other things
Mm-hmm.
when I'm uncomfortable with something.
Right, and when you can't get those thoughts out of your head.
Yeah.
And does that help?
Yeah.
That's called the distraction technique, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worse when you just have the thoughts and you don't have the compulsions. Do you have the compulsions that go along with the OCD?
Yeah, I did, but when they put me on Prozac, it kind of went down. The
Okay.
compulsions.
What were your compulsions?
Like I would have to take 5 paper towels.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to like squirt the like bottle like a soap, like a number of times. I don't even remember.
Mhm.
And then like other things, like I'd have to save videos and stuff, and
Right.
they wouldn't be bad videos, but I just have to like save them.
You'd have to say,
Like-
and you had to do these things, otherwise your anxiety became almost intolerable, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you worked a lot in therapy to kind of stop some of those things
Yeah.
as well as the medication. And now you're working on just trying to get rid of the obsessive thoughts.
Yeah, she said to like push yourself to take 2 paper towels or something.
Exactly. Instead of taking 5, maybe take 4, maybe take 3. That's called exposure and response prevention, where you expose yourself to the anxiety and you prevent doing the response, which would be taking 5 paper towels.
Yeah.
And that's what you do to treat OCD.
OCD and other types of mental illnesses are what I call invisible. You can't tell someone has it just by looking at them. I hope that you learned something from this video about OCD and places where you can go to get help. I'm trying to turn my adversity into advocacy. We can help ourselves by helping others.